Hello, everybody. Welcome to our 26th meetup. We already started in Discord. We're doing the live stream now, recording on YouTube, so you can always watch it back later. Yeah, welcome. It's the first one after we had our physical meetup. We had our first physical meetup last month. It was a blast. We had so many people come and hang out, and we had a real party with an actual food truck with pizza and stuff. It was amazing. um, yeah, so we have some new news, I guess. It looks like our next meetup will be in July. So third Wednesday of July, we'll actually do a meetup on location again. So keep an eye out for that invite. If it's anything like the last one, it will be a blast. Um, yeah, I want to give you a sense of our last meetup. We actually made an after movie, so I want to show it to you. Here we go. It is almost a whole minute long, so it's not very long, but it just gives a very nice impression of the day. So here we go. Yeah, it suddenly cuts out. A wonderful time we had. It was so amazing. And today we're kicking off a new series of online meetups. Today I'm joined by Barry, also known as Sal, who is just drinking his coffee. I saw
I
it.
was just drinking my coffee. That was a good
I
one.
thought I would just pick you at that moment. Very nice. So yeah, welcome again.
Thank
Last
you.
time you were here, you did the workshop, and
Yep.
yeah, I'm very happy that you will join us tonight with this walkthrough. Um, what did you think of last month's meetup?
Yeah, great. Really interesting to see everyone you talk to online in real life. Um, Good atmosphere. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, very cool. And yeah, today we will be doing RouterSpace. Any impressions of the machine that you remember that you want to share before we get started?
Um, this was actually a machine where I poked G that. Okay, is there a way without going full installation of development environments, debug environments? And no, there wasn't. Yeah, it's a different approach that actually took me some time. And
Yeah,
G was like, "Yeah,
nice.
look at these toolings. I normally avoid that subject that we'll get to."
Yeah. Well,
But,
let's just get the party started. I don't think I have uh, any other news to share except for keep an eye out for July. That will be quite fun. Yeah, I will actually share my screen. I will be doing the walkthrough, and Bago will be helping make sense of everything. It's always good to just spar while we are yeah, working on something. So if all is well, and I did my preparation correctly, the screen should be very nicely filled now. Yeah, so the machine that we'll be doing is actually called RouterSpace. Probably
It's not
got logged
retired.
out. It's not retired. It is. See, almost right. Almost. Now I need to unsuspiciously log in.
You need
This
to
is
stop
always
sharing.
beautiful. Yeah, let's share everything that needs to be done to actually log into something, right? Yeah, but this machine is it is quite nice. The courses that I teach for Novi, they also involve reverse engineering and mobile stuff. So it's really nicely fits into that course program. So I actually did it with a bunch of students,
Hmm.
which was quite
And
nice.
it,
Well, it went remarkably well once you get over the initial hurdle of getting started. Um, you said that you did install development environments. Did you?
okay, so you already gave away mobile. Yes, I
Mobile,
did.
yeah, it is mobile. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is mobile. It involves mobile. Yes, I did install some tooling for mobile development, and one that I didn't know of, and that G from Discord gave me a hint was Unbox,
Yeah,
ANBOX,
yeah, yeah. Nbox, yes.
for making running and installing a Android applications a lot easier. But
Yeah,
we will be coming to that one soon. I didn't know that one.
yeah, yeah.
It
Nice. Yeah,
it
I'm.
sped things up a lot. I was already reversing the Java code by then. But
Yeah.
maybe also force
There's
of habit as a
actual.
Java programmer from the past.
Yeah. There's actually a bunch of pitfalls in this machine, so it's quite nice.
Yep.
I booted it up. I went to the thingy page to actually show that most people actually uh, medium easy. It's like a good steak, uh, rare to medium, medium rare.
Yep.
Yeah, personally, I don't think this should have been rated easy as to the amount of knowledge that you need to have to do this.
I would also
Um,
say medium in this one.
yeah.
Just double check you're connected to VPN.
Not yet. I have to do
Just
that
checking.
in a little bit.
That,
Yeah. Yeah. If we look at the spider graph, it has you see that there is a little bit of a disconnect. The maker said that it would be a real machine. Most people don't
mm,
really agree with that.
no.
More to the CTF side. So there's a
Yes,
little bit of a
I
disconnect.
agree.
All right, I will copy the IP address and then I will move this tab out of the way because look at what that thing does with your CPU, right? So if you move uh, put
Just
another
assign
tab
more
in front of it,
resources.
it is horrible. It is horrible.
But,
Uh, yeah, yeah. So we have an IP address and we need to connect to the lab. So if it's correctly done, I should have a lab connection here. See, beautiful. Let's create a new terminal and let's just scan the machine. Oh, what would it? It's IP ID. Whoop. Number
no minus
30.
O output.
Oh, yeah. That's. I always tell people take good notes and save your stuff and do everything. And I show it to them and they say like, you don't do it. Yeah, just because I'm just showing it to you. I've already done all this, so I'm quite horrible. So seeing all the output here, let's make
But
a, stream folder, uh, stream, and let's quickly do a OA router stream, router. What's it called router space.
yep,
And let's see what we
output
all
all
have.
formats.
Yes.
This includes Nmap format, but also XML,
Also
which
as
is
an
handy
XML.
for automated tooling.
Yes, especially if you use Metasploit. If you're keen to that, it will also give some really nice files. So if you look at
Okay,
the files, we
Somehow
have to.
Metasploit is not in my system. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
I hardly use it myself, but yeah, many people love it.
it's a
So
great tool. I
yeah,
just
there's a router GNmap file, which is a greppable file, which is really handy if you save it, because you can grab, because it allows you to just say like every line has all the information about that port that is found on one line, so you can easily
nice.
grab, especially if you have a lot of stuff. Then there's the regular nmap file that we see when we run it. And there is a XML file for automated tooling, from Maltego to Metasploit to anything in between.
Yep.
So let's see the ports that it has: port 22, port 80, and that's it. So we can log in with
There's also
SSH.
still a filtered port.
Ignored state, filtered 998. I don't.
No,
Is
it's
there a
not
filter?
yeah, filtered port.
See, go
If
up,
you
go up.
if you go up,
Yeah.
it didn't drop the package, but it didn't respond.
Ah.
So it's usually firewalled, etc. Filtered ports.
Let's see if what did it say? I don't get the filtered ones.
Oh,
Maybe
well, I
that's
saw filtered in your list. That's why I triggered on it.
yeah. Filtered 998. This one
Yep.
filtered 900. No response.
Yeah, it's not
So the
dropped. No
machine.
response. It could be something that's firewalled, or it could be nothing.
Yeah,
That's usually what filtered means.
So we have port 22 SSH. We don't have any use yet. We just started looking. Very interesting here is the banner that it shows: SSH 2.0 RouterSpace packet filtering v1, which suggests that there is some form of filtering going on, right?
No.
And port 80 is also quite interesting.
Yep.
The output for Nmap shows port 80, HTTP title of RouterSpace. There is some form of XML parsing going on, which is quite interesting. And there is a lot of information coming from the scripts that we started. And generally, they are not shown. So it is more information than what Nmap would have expected. So it shows us.
On a
RouterSpace.
random 404, the 404 request script sends a this for sure doesn't exist request over HTTP, and it gives a 200 OK with a suspicious activity detected.
Yes, this really nice line here. The fun thing here is that if you look at the headers, there's this X headers, which are generally used for things like Amazon CloudFront or Cloudflare, to pass information between a request, backend services, and to the client again. And in this case, it says there is a CDN, a content delivery network. It probably will be fake within the hack the box confines, but it is making you think there is a CDN. So that's really nice. And there's actual suspicious activity detection. So this is really nice. Do you know what it means to get a 200 OK on a 404 request, or what it will make?
It means that there's a wildcard. We accept everything and just return 200 OK. With, by the looks of it, a random request ID. This is not something I have ever seen in my work as a developer as a request ID. It looks like a random string.
Nicely generated. Yeah.
Curious what happens when you send more. How that looks. But yeah, it accepts any request and it returns it with a 200 OK, which makes brute forcing directories a bit harder.
A bit harder indeed. You cannot just go ahead and brute force now, because generally when you brute force, you just send requests and hope to see that it gives you some usable information. If the server says OK to everything, then you cannot determine what is valid or not. So that will take some extra effort.
Yep.
Let's take a look at the GET request. The GET
Have you?
request also.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
Did you see
No,
anything?
no. Let's go here first. I'm also looking at my own notes and logs. It's been a while since I did this one.
Nice. Yeah, so let's see, still the CDN stuff, but it actually gives us back some HTML.
Which is
So
a really interesting class, and well, the class is not interesting. The lung is interesting. I haven't seen that one before. The ZXX HTML attribute.
I did not notice that. Yeah, very good. Yeah, the class says do not use JavaScript, or that there's no class, no JavaScript class somewhere defined. But indeed, the ZXX, I did not notice that, so that should be a different language, but we'll see. Up to now,
It's
it's in the
usually
list.
used for actual human language, like ENUS, etc. The long attribute in HTML. ZXX. No, it's not ZXN, which is Chinese. No clue.
I don't think it's something valid. Maybe it's the name of the creator. That could be.
But,
A nice little Easter egg. Let's see. There's any more HTTP options and RTSP requests and XELF probe. They gave nothing. The interesting thing is that generally Nmap does not show this much, but this is triggered, I believe, by that 404 that returns everything, so it actually shows more information. So yeah,
yep.
very cool.
And I think the custom headers as well might trigger it. The X headers are non-default headers. Per stack.
True story. Yeah, these two here.
But,
Yeah.
if you go up to the get, by the way, there's also another interesting one. The range attack. Have you seen that one? Accept ranges.
Oh, it does. It says bytes, so we can give it information in bytes and get stuff. That's quite interesting.
Not a standard one that you see often.
No, that is very interesting. I do not believe it is necessary for this machine, but it is strange what it does for a web server. So yeah, let's first take a look at the
what OS is it?
That is unknown at this point, I think.
Any easy way to determine a Windows versus Unix variant?
There's a Linux here. It's
I didn't even think it.
86.4. Yeah.
I actually missed that one, but I actually used Ping and was looking at TTLs to check OS.
Yeah, that's also very possible indeed. And yeah, the SSH port does not give it, but the raw fingerprint actually says that it's a Linux machine. So that's cool. That's cool. We learned a lot. Maybe we could even do some -O scanning for the fingerprinting, but yeah. Let's just take a look at a website. Let's grab the IP address, put it in. Nice. Connect your router with a RouterSpace, as Ian would say, or as Americanized humans say, a router to a RouterSpace. See, there's an interesting page. Some apparently a mobile device thingy.
Yep.
Apparently, we can do some management stuff. Pointing has no control. Sign in, check you're connected, enjoy the app. Download now. There's a lot of download now buttons that actually go to a routerspace.apk. So very cool. We can also buy stuff. Everything is $6. And there is stuff on, all the hints go to download something for a mobile thing.
I might have to mute myself really soon due to children coming home from playing outside and not being happy.
Yeah.
But so my apologies.
we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it
Yep.
goes. I have a dog. A dog is also very loud. So all these links, they actually lead to a APK. So let's just click it. We'll save it. Save it real good. There we go. So we stored that. We'll get to that later. All the links, however, they seem to be to just this page. There's the home, features, pricing, contact, get start now. Get start now. Very good English. Everything goes to this page, so that is not very useful.
Have you? So that's all that's visible.
That's We can
Did
move
you
away.
normally scan it with a Deerbuster?
Yeah, let's give that a try. Let's do a quick check of the sources if there's anything in comments, stuff like that. There is nothing. Nope, there's nothing. So yeah, let's go to just some tooling. So you use GoBuster?
I use GoBuster, though I'm starting to look at FedExBuster, given
Yeah,
the multi-threading. But
yeah.
yeah,
We
my
have
muscle memory is GoBuster.
Yeah, we have a problem, however. The problem is that we need to, in some way, um, exclude those OKs for the strange request. So if we would do a Aryan request, we get the suspicious activity detected. Yeah, that also changes for content. So that is, you cannot just rely on simple requests now.
It is actually there's a way to. There's not a way to do it in GoBuster because you need a range. It's 54 to 90 characters response size.
Let's see.
To give it away.
But I
There's
also
no way to
use
do it. I haven't found it. Maybe FedExBuster can't.
I use Buster generally. If we do this, we just point it. It does not work like that. I need that. There we go. If we do this, it will show every single hit. But the very interesting thing here is that you get a sense of what you're dealing with, right? So we have a get. It will always be one or two lines. Apparently, there's. Well, let's see why
5
it is
lines.
different.
But
Is there probably there's no real reason for it, I guess. But the thing receives it as different lines. It's always about 11, 12, 13 words, depending on that auto-generated hash thingy. And there is a character count that is interesting.
yep.
Well, if you look at the help for Fedox Buster, why not? Let's give it a try. There is some very interesting things that we can do, but I have a sense that it's not completely finished yet.
Okay. I'm curious about this because I used GoBuster and I went to set an AUG in Grab Magic.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
That's
Yeah. So there's different options to filter stuff according to the help page. So if we take a look at the size, filter out messages of a particular size. So let's try that. We saw it
you
was
provide a range, or is it only big sizes?
So we can do. I believe it's something like this. Where is it?
Minus S.
Filter size. Oh, a comma.
But that sounds like individual ones and not a range.
That could be. Let's give it a try. We know there's a lot of 77 and 69. So if we don't see those, we should. there is no 77, 69. So if we do 69 to 77,
Nope.
so no digits.
It doesn't accept
That-
ranges, but
yeah,
Gobers are the same.
yeah, that's horrible. So that's very bad. There's different tools that we can use. One is FUF.
Yep.
Yeah, other way around. FUF. The very fast, faster you fool. Thank you
WFUS
for
and FUF are awesome
yeah.
fuzzers.
So it's very cool. I will put a link in the Discord chat.
They're more generalized and take more configuration than a Go Buster or Ferox or a Buster, but they offer way more configuration options.
Yeah, it is. It is generally better suited for fuzzing. So that's
Yes.
nice.
Well, yeah.
So
WFUS is another one that's also quite okay. I prefer FUF.
so I actually I believe yeah I believe I did it somewhat like this. Puff, and then I need to. It's a very wonderful thing to have the history in
Yep.
what you call it, but yeah, it is also a crime if you want to just share for a while. So yeah, let's give it a try. So we
Okay. What's the options that you're using?
yeah, I have FUF. FUF. I've downloaded it. Just go to the GitHub page, download it, and then you can pass it a URL. So we have the 10.129.104.213 of RouterSpace. And then you need to indicate what you want to fuzz. In this case, I want to fuzz this part of the URL. You can be very specific and have multiple fuzz points. Very cool. And then you pass it a word list. So I have the one from SecLists that is also used by Ferox Buster. And I will filter out anything that has anywhere between 1 to 10 lines of text. And that should be enough to have those nasty pages. So if we do this, it will actually run, and you'll see that it actually does not find a lot.
And what do you deduce from this? Because that's the interesting one.
Well, yeah, there's some very interesting things going on. Actually, index, PHP, HTML, ASPX, JSP, ASP, and capitals actually returns the same thing. So if we go to our page and we go to index.aspx, it will show the index page. So there is.
I think if you go to index all capitals .xyz, you actually might get a hit as well.
Wait, let's give that a try. Let's do XYZ.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
No, just a random index.xyz. If you go to the website,
Yeah.
and now instead of ASPX, just go XYZ. Oh, it actually, I was actually expecting it to match on index and not on hard routes.
I think there's actually some filtering going on that it does the known extensions for.
I didn't expect that. I never looked at this. I just expected it to take index in anything.
Yeah, I was with you. I was with you until I tried it. Yeah, so that's quite interesting. One thing that we know is that it is horrible in the sense that there's nothing to find except this contact.html.
Yes.
Let's give that a try. Contact.html. And we have this contact page, get in touch. We can. Oh, really? Nice.
Could you open up either burp or a network or the debug pane? Not just debug pane, so just so we see what happens.
We do network and we
Yes.
do the. They
Reload.
moved it again. I want to persist the logs in case it redirects, and then you
Yep.
keep the logs here. So let's do a send.
I need to reload first. Debug tools are not enabled yet.
Yeah, it also doesn't do anything. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Let's see.
Post.
There is.
Then you
Where's our post? Get.
get with parameters is also an option.
I see.
It's not always a post. That just a
No,
general remark. Sometimes it is actually a put or a get with.
And then you have all
parameters.
the parameters in the arguments or in the query parameters.
It's a good
Nothing
thing
here.
to keep in mind when. No, it's actually non-functional. But,
Yeah,
but it's a good
so-
thing to keep in mind when you look at websites, that it's not always post.
Yeah, very true. Very true. If you actually look at a website in more detail, always just use perp. That's
Yes.
So yeah, we're stuck in the sense that the website does not give us anything. I had this RouterSpace.apk and I had this directory called stream. So let's.
I'm actually going to double check something, because in my notes I'm seeing that the contact.html, if you look at the source, it actually posts to /contact_process.php. I don't have the website open, but
Let's see. I'll do it.
Process.php.
Let's see. Form. Where's the form? Contact_process.php. Let's.
Which gives
and that is a non-existing page.
Yep.
So, that's a horrible design.
And if you look at the page, you'll also see colorlib.com everywhere in addresses, and the template the template they use is colorlib, which is a default template.
I don't think we will find anything more on this website. It is,
if you look at / there is one thing that. No, there's not. Yeah, it wasn't fuzzable in the end. There was some. If you look at /js/contact.js, it didn't work with that beef. Says you didn't get it, and it might only work with a post, which is true, but in this case it didn't. But /js/contact.js, and then look at the jQuery validator at method answer check. Maybe increase your size, and then look at the return this.optional elements.
Let's see. We have the serialize contacts.
No, there's one that actually says that one. Look at the or
bcat test. Type in the correct answer for the
start of line /b. /b brackets /b. I have no clue from the top of my head. Anyone?
I think full word, maybe, or a backspace.
Yeah, so start of line /b, whatever it is. Cat /b. I actually played around with that one. That I was like, okay, are they really doing some weird interception?
Yeah. And
nothing.
Nothing. I think it's a very nice rabbit hole.
That's.
All right. So we have this APK, which is our only thing that is left. At the moment.
I think there's also another one to run in the background, but that will take a while. UDP.
The UDP scan, we can do that. I believe it was pointless on this machine.
It is, but it is not. It's something that's always good just after doing a TCP scan, do a UDP scan, because it will take forever.
Yeah,
it will not give anything on this machine, but there are min SE, capital U, capital
Yeah,
V,
that's right.
or at
Yes.
V as in
Yeah.
Victor. But yeah, this also works.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right.
V as in fingerprinting flag.
Ah,
That's what I usually use.
I need to be rude. Make me a sandwich. There we go. This will take forever. Oh, no. That's the top 20 ports.
Yep.
I had a machine that had UDP and it took forever. There was a trap. Uh, yeah, everything will be filtered probably.
Yep.
So,
It's
with your permission,
it won't give
uh,
anything here, but it's a
yeah.
good thing to keep in mind. More and more machines use SNMP, etc. on that I've been seeing.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this APK file. Let's first confirm what it is. APK is the Android package system, so it packages your mobile applications. So this should be a mobile application, and generally all things in Java land, when it is a archive of some sort, it uses the zip algorithm in this case as well. Interesting thing here, it says at least version 0 to extract. So, if we would do unzip -l on RouterSpace.apk, we will find that we can actually unpack it if we wanted to.
It looks like a valid structure of a APK file. Resource
yeah,
directory, lib for the actual Android implementation.
yeah, there's a lot
Yep.
of beautiful things. And we could actually unpack it using unzip, as it is just a zip archive. There is, however, a smarter way to do it. If we do this, let's make a temp directory, and we do unzip of the router.
You just left the stream directory.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, it's stupid things. There we go. Unzip, and then we do the router space APK. If we unzip it, we'll get beautiful files. But example, the Android manifest, it will. No, it doesn't really look.
That's
It is a binary file because the encoding is specific to the Android OS. So there's actual stuff in there.
Yep.
We can make it readable though. But there's actual tools to deal with APKs.
even default installed.
Yeah, it's a default installed now.
APK tool.
Nice.
Sorry, is it APK tool? I am lying. Nee, the bytecode viewer is actually one. If you really want to go fast, it's default installed on Kali, I think.
Yeah, I don't need to go fast. I would like to unpack
APK
it.
tool is not default installed.
APK tool is not default installed. We'll use it. So you need to do a apt install APK tool. It will all say that I have it already, of course. So yay, I have it. I did not upgrade my machine, so yeah, that's good.
I did a blind dist upgrade without downloading a new image just before joining the stream. Let's just say I had to recycle some Snap installs and stuff.
Yeah,
it broke.
Yeah,
Hard.
that's always the case. So
Yep.
we'll use APK tool. APK tool takes a bunch of options. If you take a look at the help, it's a Java tool, so it's not the fastest, but it is wonderful. So there's a bunch of things that we can do. It is a little bit strange. So we have APK tool, which takes a bunch of options. Then we can do the install framework, which is a new feature since 2, I believe. And we could do APK tool decode, which will actually unpack a APK file. And the very interesting thing that we can use here is the do not decode sources. If we decode sources, what APK tool actually does, it will unpack everything and then convert the compiled classes to a form of basically assembly code or bytecode for the Android virtual machine, Dalvik machine. And it's called Smiley, and it is unreadable for you. It's readable, but it's not what you want. We would rather convert it back to its original Java code or maybe even Kotlin if possible. But
It's
Java code.
Kotlin. I'm actually now looking at using a commercial tooling for decompilation.
Oh yeah, I would not bother. But if you do it in a professional manner, yay! I would
If
also.
you happen to have IntelliJ Ultimate or Professional, then
Yeah.
life is nice.
Life is always nice. IntelliJ is one of the JetBrains products. I still have some codes available, so if anybody needs some codes, hit me up. There's
It is one of
actually
the best IDEs, so if you don't have it, go for it. I use it daily as a developer in multiple languages.
yeah, very nice. I use Emacs, but that's a whole different story. Um, there's a guy called Max Kersten. He actually works for the ABN AMRO. He has a project called Android Project Creator. I saw that Chris already linked it in the chat as well. It basically collects all the decompilers and everything that you could ever want for analyzing Android projects or APKs. It is beautiful. It is also very heavy and too much for this box. But if you want to take a little bit more in-depth look at analyzing APKs or looking at the source code, stuff like that, I highly recommend taking a look at his page.
Interesting.
Yeah, he did a lot of cool things with it. So yeah, do that. For us now, it is not really necessary because we only want to just get just enough information to actually do stuff with it, right? So we unpacked the RouterSpace package, and we have this beautiful directory structure, which we also had by unzipping it. But now we can just do Android manifest and read the file, which is quite nice. Sadly, it does not give a lot of information, but yeah, there we go. Let's see what it does tell us. There is this header line. It says it's XML, and then it has this manifest file, a manifest tag, and this manifest tag basically tells us what version of the toolkit was used to compile this package, which tells us what we will actually need to further investigate it as well. There's a package called com RouterSpace that we read here, and the intended SDK is number 30, so that's quite new, I guess. Also very interesting is that we can take a look at the permissions that are required. So in this case, it has the internet permission, so it needs to talk on the internet. So that's interesting. And then there's this application identifier. And this, it tells...
But the only thing custom on this one is the namespace or the package, whatever you want to call it. The com RouterSpace main activity. This looks about the same as you will see in 90% of all Android apps.
Yeah, very true. There's some indicators what the main application is and the name of the application. There is some stuff as to how it starts up, if it shows keyboards and stuff like that. And what the main application is and the category. But that's about it. So a run-of-the-mill um, application in that sense. Um, Decompiling with APK tool also yields another file, which is this APK tool YAML. If we look at that, it basically tells us exactly the same thing that we already knew. Um, there is some meta info, and there's some yeah, background information, version stuff. But the very nice thing that I find that is in here is that based on the metadata that is in Android and in the archive itself, it tells us that the actual minimum SDK that is needed to run this is actually version 21. And there is a big difference in amount of resources that are required to run something on version 21 versus version 30. So yeah. Um,
This is also the part where I know Java, I know Kotlin. I am totally not at home in Android, so this is the I believe you. Don't ask me which SDK does what.
yeah, SDKs are wonderful things. If you have a couple of gigabytes to spare, you can install them. But
Good
basically,
version.
it is the version of Android that is
Yep.
on your phone.
No, absolutely. But which version, 21 versus 30? I'm like, yeah, I believe you. That's
Yeah, there's probably a Wikipedia page that lists all the very
yep.
nice versions and
It's
details.
not that bad in terms of size. But, I've been fussing V8 and Chromium. Ever tried checking that one out?
Yeah, it's like 40 gigs or something, right?
Make it 140.
Nice. I would not do that,
It's
but
insane. It's insane.
yeah,
That's
Google loves the mono REPL thing. So
yeah.
we have files. We have things like assets. It just contains fonts and stuff like that, and other interesting things. This index Android bundle might be interesting. It has a significant size. It's a megabyte. So
hmm
so let's ASCII text, very long lines. We
Very
can
long.
do a head on it. See what is in there. Um, and this looks like a beautiful JavaScript code. Um, and that will become more apparent when we go further. This is why I don't really like this particular application, but we'll get to that. There's apparently some Kotlin stuff here. Kotlin is a newish programming language which is on the JVM as well, so you
By
can write
JetBrains.
Kotlin by
It's
JetBrains,
not
compile
the
it
main
to
content.
basic
Yeah.
Java code, and run it on anything. Google supports it, so yay, very good.
Actually made it the default for Android. That
Yeah,
it's the recommended for Android. Kotlin. Kotlin is a
yeah,
more functional. It's a mixture between a functional programming language and Java. It's a really aimed at user friendliness. It's
yeah.
or developer friendliness.
The developer-friendly programming language. We'll see.
So,
I do not really like it, but I'm in a minority here. Then there's this lib folder, which contains the library files for every platform on which you can run your Android. So you can have an ARM machine or an x86 or a x86 64 or an ARM v7 and yay, that works. So in these files you will find, what we'll find.
directly
See,
of linked objects, of shared
yeah,
objects.
shared objects. And the thing here is that we will find native and React native things, which tells us that this application is actually a React native application, which means that it is generally written in JavaScript and compiled into into an application.
React being the framework by Facebook, the web framework.
Yeah, from one tech giant to another, right?
Yep,
Um,
written and designed by a Dutch guy.
yeah, what's his name?
Well, he was the lead. I don't know. Even he always runs around in Batek shirts. He's also a professor. No, for the life of me, I can't remember his name.
It's probably on the
Um,
Wikipedia page. There's
oh yeah,
there's
I'll look
some
it up.
other directory called res, which contains XML files with resource identifiers, such as translated strings, stuff like that. As this is a React Native application, we'll see that the Java code is very minimal. We have this DEX file here now.
I'm actually missing one thing in your unpack. Where's the meta inf? If you just unzip it, you have a meta inf
Yeah,
directory.
that's true. That's true.
Because that one actually contains something interesting. If you look at the inside the meta inf, there is a cert. Just have a look at the cert.
Cert, RSA. And
Well, have a look.
yeah, yeah, there is a RouterSpace.htb right here.
Yes,
We don't really know what we need to do with it, but this cert is
it's a domain.
probably it's yeah.
It's the code signing. It's the cert used for signing the APK, if I'm not mistaken.
That could be. It could also be for a certificate pinning.
It's also an option, but I don't think it's. No, it's signing.
used for
It's a signing cert.
signing. Yeah,
It's a signing
it's
cert.
signing. And the interesting thing for it is that the cert .rsa contains a hostname. So we know the .htb name is associated with the Hack the Box lab. There's not a lot more here. Colombo, router space, outer space, outer space, something. Could yeah, interesting. So we have this name here. We'll get to that, I guess. Cool. So we have router space. We have this DEX file here. This DEX file is unreadable at the moment. We would like to make this a Java readable thingy. We can do that with yet another tool. It's called dex2jar. Again, we need to install this dex2jar. And once we have the jar file, we could load up a IntelliJ or something. We can also install a tool called JDGUI, which is a jar file viewer. I will already have both, so I'll not install it. And dex2jar does exactly what you want. It converts a DEX file, which is still the compiled stuff for the Android, into a jar file. And a jar file is a Java archive which contains compiled Java classes, which we can then view using JDGUI. So if we do that, wait a little bit. This is very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. While you do that,
Ida has a very
that,
Ida has an interesting remark. It says Microsoft Visual Code has a functionality to decompile APK quite easy. So that's quite nice.
there's also a default install tool that does this. That makes it really.
Yeah, what is it?
It's if you open up your Kali menu and look for bytecode viewer. It's
I
not.
don't have that. No, it's this is the old Kali.
Oh no, it's actually on the old one. Oh, it might be in the reversing package. There's a bytecode viewer, which is a UI. Shall I quickly share my screen?
Oh, so it will install it.
I don't know what it's. Well, just bytecode minus viewer maybe, but yeah, bytecode. I have no clue what it's called.
Bytecode viewer, yeah, there.
Yes. You can just open up the APK. It will show if
Oh, oh.
multi-decompiler, disassembler, um,
Nice.
and it looks horrible. It's a
We'll
Swing
look.
application, so it looks horrible. But you can just
Oh yes.
it's a Java Swing application. It's but if you
Let's.
now open, if you say file add,
Yeah, let's first.
I will look for the font in the meanwhile.
The font settings. Let's see, plugins.
View, visual settings, font size.
Font size. 24 should be good, right?
Yeah, that's a good start.
Let's see. Add an APK. I learned something new today. Let's see the stream.
Just don't click
RouterSpace.
APK.
I did that. Let's see what it does. Now I need to update my slides, which is horrible. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's resources assigned to the Kali, but I might have.
Yeah, it's working.
How many cores do you have assigned?
Oh, not so many.
Okay, yeah, I've got 16 courses, or 12 courses assigned. As in hardware course. I had some.
On your virtual machine?
Yes, to my virtual machine and 32 gigs of memory. So that's
a little bit much.
Kali
let's
runs.
see. Yeah, I can imagine.
If you go to the classes, it's usually it's mostly used for this. If you go to the classes, it does the unpacking. You have a decoded resources where your Android manifest is.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, beautiful. I see it.
And
this,
if you go,
this is a wonderful tool. Nice.
And if you go to, for example, or let's see which packet com.RouterSpace.
RouterSpace. Let's go to the main application. Right.
It actually has the bytecode and the Fernflower decompiled version.
Nice. It's like a Ghidra for desktop. Nice. Let's see if we can find something useful in this mess. Because this indeed is a React Native application. So basically, this will load a React Native theme. I believe that where is it? There is not a lot of very interesting things in this source code actually. And we did a lot of effort to look at it, only to find out that it is a React Native application, and we need to search elsewhere.
I spent a lot of time going through this.
Yes, I did as well.
Anything interesting?
There's nothing. There's nothing really of interest here, which was quite disappointing, I must say, because we went through all this difficulty. We have these certs here. Certs are quite nice because we have extra information. There's some manifest files, beautiful. Yeah.
I'm actually looking. The most interesting I found was the cert.
Yeah.
Which gave a host name. That was the only thing I found through going through this.
Yeah, I believe all the interesting stuff is generally in this file.
Yeah, obfuscated. I couldn't be bothered. That's
no,
not.
We looked at it for a little bit, going into the initial unpacking. At this point, it was very frustrating for me because I thought, Android APK, I'll decompile it, read the source code, and magic. And well, then I got here, and I was quite disappointed to find a React Native application because they are quite harsh to actually get through. It's like reading a actually philosophy book or something. It just takes forever to sort it out. So I decided to put it on the back burner for now and go another route. But I have learned about a other tool today, so yay to that.
Yeah, when
Um,
you asked me to join,
I asked for wisdom, so
I actually thought, well, I first was in the assumption we were going to do another box, and then I found out it was this one. And I've been working all day the last few days, so I had no time. I actually wanted to dive into the decompilation if I had time, but I didn't, to see if I
yeah.
could find something else. But no luck. I still think that with some,
With enough time, you will find
yeah,
useful things there. But there's better ways to do it. One thing that we can do with an APK is to actually run it. If we have an emulator that is suitable for Android, we can do it. We can have a virtual machine in Nbox. I believe it's very nicely Nbox,
yep.
Android in a box. We can do that. Run basically anything. It's very nice if you want to play games or stuff like that from your
It
Android
does
device.
require a let's see, HMEM, I think, as DKMS.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
so it does require DKMS, and you need Android
yeah,
tools ADB.
yeah. So, but
No,
it works. It
it's
works.
it's high impact for your machine. It's nice
Yeah,
to run in VM, not on your
yeah.
real machine.
There's also Jenny Motion, which I'll show today. Jenny Motion is generally used by developers to do testing of devices. So I thought I would show this one today. Um, Other option is Android Studio. Android Studio. Yeah. Android Studio is the official way to make Android applications. It has a emulator and everything. Beautiful. If you have some disk space to spare, because it requires some space. Yeah, so what I did, I actually did Jenny Motion. Um, I actually did first Android Studio because I already have it due to my classes. But I decided to try out Jenny Motion. And you just download it and open it up. And there is actually a Jenny Motion command that we can run. And it shows a form of manager application. And this is quite nice. It allows you to do a lot of different things, and it deals with all the necessities itself. So I have no device. I threw my device away to start fresh. So let's hope that everything goes well. uh,
Curious?
yeah. And at this point, it becomes very apparent why we need that information about what SDK is supported and stuff like that. If we look, the first hit is a 4.4 API 19. And if we scroll down, we can all the way go to 29 at this moment. I believe 30 is out as well now. Um, and the further down the road you get, the heavier it is for your machine. So I like to go to the bare minimum because I don't want to explode my machine.
I still
And
think you should just assign more resources to your VM, and it's
yeah, I could, but why? Um, it works. It works. So let's not make it more difficult. Now it's got 4 gigs and 4 cores or something like that. And
yeah,
I
that
generally
is
run
tricky.
multiple VMs. So yeah, I need
Um, okay,
space.
my
The
PC is
most
optimized for multiple VMs, multiple containers, and development. So a lot of cores, a lot of memory.
Do you also run Teams on it?
No, I run worse.
Uh,
No, there's nothing worse than Teams. I
no,
run
exactly. It takes half of the machine. So
Code with Me by IntelliJ.
also heavy.
It's the JetBrains editor, but then shared coding environment. it is quite killing. And
Uh,
things like Gather and Google Meet and whatever is just a disaster.
Now, so I go as low as I can. It's lightweight, and I like the Nexus devices. So let's grab the Nexus 4 device. It is a horrible resolution, but we're not in it for pretty graphics. We just want to run it. So let's click next, and all this stuff. Just say okay. We'll accept it and just do
It's
install.
really small.
Yeah.
Anything you can configure there in terms of, I don't know, network settings or.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But,
Let's first get a device and start a device. So we'll run it. We'll run it. It takes a little while because my machine is not highly optimized to run this stuff. Actually, it's not too bad,
Nah,
especially
not,
the early machines. You can look at it like this. It is almost as heavy as the web page for the Hack the Box login team.
that is quite heavy indeed.
Yeah, with that animation, it's horrible. It's horrible. So yeah, we have this Genymotion emulator running. It's quite nice. And this is basically an old Android. We have all these options here from network settings. We can emulate different types of networks. We can do things like drop connection. All the things a developer would want. What we want
Yep.
now is to just see this application in action. So let's do that.
I'm actually going to close a window here because my neighbor is apparently working in the front and playing Prince, which could be worse, but
Nice.
I don't know if it's
Nice,
being
nice.
picked up.
I did not hear good music yet, so it's all good.
You don't hear it now? Then it's being filtered out.
Well, now I'm hearing for it. So
Okay.
you
I
close
will,
your window. It's all
I
fine.
will close my window. 1 second.
I will drag the APK on it, drag them here to send them to the device. Let's see if it works. Generally, I have bad luck with drag and drop stuff, so it actually works. Beautiful. We have this app. It starts, so this RouterSpace app. It is actually a thing that works, and it says to us, borderless connection, connect everywhere in the space. We already saw that this tool is supposed to do stuff, so let's see what it does. Next, still advertisement. Next, at least it's very pretty, and we're done. And we have one button, check status. So just press it, and it tells us that it's unable to connect to server. Yeah, we can make a well-educated guess at this moment, because we already saw something in the certificate, of course, but I don't like guesses. What we can do, I don't know. What did you do about it? Did you do anything special?
I proxied ADB through Burp.
I see. Nice. I
But,
did actually
and
something
Wireshark.
different.
But,
I did
Wireshark was my
Wireshark.
first. But when I saw the protocol, I immediately switched to proxying through Burp.
Yeah. Let's just do Wireshark. I start Wireshark through the menu. It allows you to look at all the network traffic, so it's awesome. We have different options here: ETH0, TON0, any. Generally, it is a good idea to start with any. Well, you can do TON0, but then we do make the assumption that something is going through the tunnel at the moment. If we click here,
Okay, with Hack the Box, it's a safe assumption. In a pen test, it's a bad assumption.
yes, and in this case, it's also a bad assumption because there's if we click it, we see zero activity on TON0. You see this thingy here. If we click this button, it does very little. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, we'll
Zero
satisfy
activity.
your curiosity. We'll do the ton
There we
zero.
go. That zero activity on a graph doesn't mean there's no packages going at all.
Let's click it. Currently, there's 0 packages going.
Okay.
So
But,
the ton zero is a very good one if you know that you're already connected to the environment. And
which
I
requires DNS. Okay.
yeah, indeed. Yeah, I think
Yeah. Okay. I stand corrected. But
yeah. Well, one thing I always do, I add host names to my host file, and if you don't do that, what we have not done at this moment, we'll run into this, and this is quite interesting. So if we do any, we'll see that some stuff
53,
is happening. But if we
53
click the
UDP.
status thingy, yeah, the UDP scan is still running probably. I clicked the button and we saw a lot of stuff happen, which is quite interesting. So if we go all the way up, here we'll see our, what is this? Well, something happening. TCP acts, something's doing it. But now we get to see the traffic that happened when we clicked the button.
Is there any way to increase the font? Because I'm literally staring at the
yeah.
moment.
Let's see. Oh, that's always a very nice thing with. Let's see. Well, preferences, fonts and colors. We're getting there. Let's see.
Yeah, 11 was too small for.
Let's do 24. 24 should
24
be.
should work, but 11 was way too small. Yeah.
Nice. Can you read this?
It will require a lot of scrolling, but.
Yes. So we clicked the button, and there a lot of lines became active here. If we scan through them, we see a bunch of connections, and then we see in this protocol thingy, we see TCP. We can take a look. We can take a look what this is. If we click one of those lines, a very cool feature of Wireshark is this follow feature. So right click it, we do follow, and we can do a TCP stream. So we can actually look at, instead of each individual packet, we can look at all the packets in one go. So if we do that.
For those not familiar with Wireshark or network capture in general, all the packets are being transmitted, including handshake packets, etc. So a full connection is multiple packets. Just to establish a connection, everything is being traced.
Yeah, it basically just does like it sniffs your network device and everything that goes over it. It's very cool. I once did a job at a company and I started Wireshark, and there was a multicast thingy wrongly configured. So all the SMB traffic was sent to all the hosts in that network, which is quite nice. You just open up Wireshark and you say, well, here's my report. Thank you. Because everything was sent over the network. So,
when cable internet was first introduced, I think 98 or something, it was token ring based. It was token ring based. So if you literally put your Ethernet in promiscuous mode, as in listen to everything and just listened to all the traffic coming by, you saw all the traffic of the neighbors actually.
And HTTPS was not a thing then.
No, I actually filed some complaints with my back then ISP that I could see all the traffic of my neighbor.
May I ask who your ISP was?
At home.
At home. Was that a cello?
No, that was that was later Ascent, but at home. Ascent at home.
Nice. I used to. I had one of my first jobs at a company called UPC.
I might know them. Yes.
Yeah. Later cello, and now it's. I think it's Sigo, I guess. I don't know.
I think they also had some problems with, I don't know, default passwords on core routers.
Oh, something like that. Yeah,
But there were some issues in the 90s with internet. That's
yeah. True story. True story. But we're not here to talk like old people. We're here to be very hip and hack something. So if you scan through this list, you find a lot of TCP. Just by going from top to bottom, we'll actually find something called DNS. Let's follow this thing. Follow the UDP stream, and we'll see that it actually has a request. Does a standard query for the hostname RouterSpace.http. And then it says no such name RouterSpace.http. So
Yep.
this application is trying to connect to RouterSpace without actually being able to resolve that hostname. So let's help it out. Let's open a new terminal.
There's also a tool for this, I heard.
You heard what? The tool, yes. I don't know if I have it. Yeah, I have it. Beautiful.
And
I'll do it.
I'm sure that I'm looking at a pseudo VI, and
Yeah. VI has its uses, right? VI has its uses. Let's
a lot of
grab.
uses.
Yeah, it has its uses. VI. Where is my text editor? Let's grab this one. Let's add it to the host file. And a very observant person would know that, hey, I just deleted it and I'm adding it again. And is this the right thing to do?
With
It's a different IP. Yeah, it's a different IP. Let's do this. Let's tell Wireshark to filter all the DNS traffic. And we'll click check again. And I need to start it. Continue without saving. And it's starting again. If I do it, it still says, yo, query, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And this is because the Android emulator.
It's your Genymotion not using the host file from the system.
Yes, true story. It does not use it, and the DNS server it asks is actually not our host file DNS, but it's actually DNS server of the 172.16, the virtual machine team. So this is horrible in the sense that we now need to figure out how to set this DNS entry. And there's actually a handy way to do this.
Bind 9?
How did you do this?
It's bind.
Oh, bind! Yeah, you did it all the way. Yeah.
I actually have two DNS servers in this network, so
Nice.
for me it's really easy to quickly.
Yeah. For most other people,
Sorry.
we actually need something else in the Genymotion. In the Genymotion directory. Why there are Ferox Buster log files here? Probably was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Right, now I can do this. In the Genymotion tools directory, there's actually called something ADB. It's called the Android Debug Bridge, and it allows us to actually talk to devices. So if we do the ADB devices, no, I don't want. Oh, yeah. And we'll try to install ADB. Very useful ZSH plugin. If we ask it to list devices, it will actually tell us that there's an Android emulator running here, which is this thing, this 192.168.56.104. And we can actually do things like log into this box, because an Android telephone, mobile thingy, is still a computer. And as a computer, it has a system directory, it has an etc file, which has a host file. And we could add our RouterSpace.http to that host file and use it like that. It is not possible to do it like this. That would be way too easy because the file system is read-only. We can mounted read writable, but once we log in with the shell, it generally goes haywire with me. So what I generally do,
ADB shell. Oh, yeah. You can also do
I,
that.
I pull off the file. So I take the host file. Um, let's do VI again because we have somebody who likes VI. Hmm. Is it still there? Yes. Yeah, and this I don't like, right? It does not align properly. RouterSpace .htb. We'll do that. We have the host file. We edited it hosts. So we added the new IP address of RouterSpace. And now it's time to actually send it back to the machine. And if we try it this way with a push local file host to that system location, it will tell us that the remote file system is read only, which is not very good. We
Yeah.
can ask ADB to remount it, which will actually start or remount the file system as a writable thing. And generally, you need to be quite quick after that to write it because it will revert. So we do a remount and then push it again. And then you'll see that it actually pushed the file to the file system. If we do a shell
Um,
now.
so you're actually creating a race condition to in the
Uh,
remounting phase where it goes to writable before applying security policy, making it read only. You push the file. That's literally what you just said.
yeah, side effects.
It's, it's a race
Side
condition.
effects. Now, if
It's
the remount command, it is meant to actually. Where are you?
okay. It's actually meant
Rem-
to do this. It's,
yeah, remount partitions read write. Um,
uh,
but
okay.
my experience with the current emulators is that after a couple of seconds, it will revert back to being
Okay.
a read only, which is horrible because I want to write stuff. So maybe it's a race condition.
No. It's not a race condition if it's actually meant to remount as read write. I thought it was just remounting a volume, and there
No, no,
was
no.
a period of read writable. Okay.
No. It's not some exotic thing. Um, so
With Androids, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
true story, true story. So we've added the host name to the local host file. You can also set up your own DNS if you want. I found this to be easier. If we click check status now, it says, "Hey, it works. The router is working fine." And I need to remove the filter. Let's clear this. Whoop. Continue without saving. Check. We get a whole bunch of stuff. I'll stop it again so we don't overload. And now we start again. We start from the front and we try to figure out what happens. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So, yay. Um, and the font is quite large, so we need to scroll a little bit. We see all the TCP stuff that was there already. So we can just scroll through it. There's some unfinished packages. And then we see something in green. So it's okay. Some UDP stuff,
destination port
TCP.
80. That sounds like
Yeah. Port 80 is a destination. There's the ports. There, it's somewhere here.
DST. The DST
Yeah.
in the transmission. If you look down, yeah, it's
No.
yep.
Yeah,
That
I've been here. Yeah, here.
source
Port 80. Very good. Very good. I clicked on it here as well. I think this is the same one. Source port 80. It's a handshake to actually do a call to a endpoint. The beautiful thing for Wireshark here is that we can still do a Wireshark follow. We can either do the TCP stream or the HTTP stream. Let's do the HTTP stream and see what it shows.
Yep.
And it shows us some beautiful calls here in reddish. it is what we sent. In blue is what we got back. So it actually does a post to a monitoring endpoint of some sort. And it asks, hey, device access 0.00, and it answers 0.0.0.0/n. All right. Well, this is cool. I'll copy this. This sounds really cool. RouterSpace agent. That also sounds very cool. And this is the point where I actually switched over to Burp.
Okay, you did switch over to Burp.
Yeah, for the repeater. Oh yeah. I hope this is fixed in the current new version, but there were some issues with the Java 9-ish thing.
Let's see. I have Burp Professional, so
Yeah.
updating Burp. Let's see if it breaks. But,
Yeah. My Burp will yell at me. It's 3 months old. Thank you. Okay. So Burp is a wonderful thing. I'll go to the user options display, put it on 24, and change the message font thingy to 24 as well. Boop.
As a side note, the latest version of Burp, at least the professional, has no errors.
Yeah, very good. So if you have a newer Kali, it should be fine. So we go to repeater and we paste in this request.
There is another way. I sent you a message on Discord with a ADB command to set a global proxy, which is more interesting even. Because here, you can proxy all traffic through Burp.
Let's give it a try. So let's see, ADP. We need
and then your
downloads Jenny Motion tools. Did it well. Let's see what it will be. My IP address.
You will be able to see that in Wireshark. That's open on the back.
Yeah,
you will see the IP that is actually being used. 10.10.14.59.
Yeah, that is my
That's your ton IP.
So let's see who it asks. Probably this 192.168.561. And I believe this is the, there we go.
Yep. Okay.
That is the IP address of the gateway for the emulator.
Okay, it's usually that one's gateway. Okay.
So we can do that. That will be interesting as well. Let's give
then
that
they
a
will
try.
actually. I don't know if you need to restart your app, but then it will actually. I normally run with intercept off, but just keep.
Unable to connect. Unable to connect. We have the proxy. We have proxies running.
Interface. If you go back, options.
Options.
Look at interface.
Interface.
127.0.0.1.
Yeah. Let's add one. Let's add it to that one, and I'm trying to port 8080. Very good. Because
8081. You already have a 8080 bound.
There we go. Almost there. So we tell it to bind to the 65 or 56 IP address, so that the emulator can connect to it, put it on a port. We should not forget to reset this to 81.
Yes.
See if it works. History. Bam! It also does that. Beautiful. So we saw two ways to do it, and then we can just put this one, bam, to the repeater, and then we have this beautiful thing going here. Let's check it if it works. Send. Nice. It works. Burp does its magic, and it shows us that we can connect. And the interesting thing here is that we send an IP address, and we get the IP address back with a /n.
New line.
That
is good.
Yeah. So let's first try with something like a name, see if it does any filtering on things. So we get the if I could spell my name right. Um,
CramDB. It sounds interesting.
crampy,
Cramped. Cramped.
yeah, crampy.
That's,
I started at Telekabel, which became Elko. Very good. Yeah, I was at UPC from 95, 96, I believe. I had my school after school job there. It's quite nice. Yeah. So this is quite interesting. What did you try at this point?
the first thing I tried, what I normally try when I can sense things and I see things like new lines, I just tried ampersand. Who am I? After
Ampersand.
just 0.0.0.0. That's one of the first things I always try. I just see, is there an RC? Space ampersand. Who am I? Space ampersand space.
Why the ampersand? Why one? No, that's
I have no clue what.
because a Unix
It's actually a background. It's a
background.
background
So
command. Yeah, but I think it's a typo in
in your
my
notes.
notes.
Yes.
It makes no sense because it's a
Generally,
back.
you would do two.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it shows Paul. I actually also did things like minus minus help to see
Oh,
what
that's also a good
happens.
one.
And it does minus minus help, which made me think that what happens is actually echo of the thing that we sent. And if we do that through XXD, we'll see that it is terminated with a new line.
Yep.
So I thought this endpoint actually sends the thing that we sent um, as a new line. So we could also do stuff like this should
Return code. Does it?
doesn't do it. Cancel it. Maybe shebang doesn't do it. But ID stuff like that. It actually works.
Yep.
It returns something called Paul. Paul is the user that we're running. So we're actually running as a user on this box. So no special web server user, which was quite surprising to me. I guess that's why they said it's easy because you only have one step. But this one step is quite a thing. So yeah, ls minus al gives us a lot of stuff. So what I also did is take this stuff
And
and
this was where I stopped using burp and went to the bash script. I just posted to. I just posted it to your Discord, or I will post it to the general Discord. It's really, really quickly hacked together, because it's just allowed me to say RCE and then the command done.
nice. That's in honor of your thingy. I will do solve sh with a vi. Yeah, this is quite interesting curl command that does it. The interesting thing here is that we can actually do stuff like copy as curl command, which is quite interesting if we do that. And we go to a shell. So do this, and we post it here. We get basically the same thing that you already post here.
Which came from a copy to Perl. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Just
took
wrapped
this
it,
and then you wrapped it into a. Let's make this a little
RC is. This is literally the copy to curl from burp, as you can see. I would normally never quote the post or include a text plane or all except or a
Let's
user
let's
agent
make
or
this
administrators.
a little bit more readable.
Yep.
Do, 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 do. So, and then what do you do here? You
Yeah, I was actually
replace the
thinking that what the hell was I doing with this?
oh, you replace the new lines with an actual new line.
Yes.
So there's
Yes.
the /n. You
Yeah.
replace
Yeah,
with the
the
new
new lines
line,
were escaped, and I actually made new lines out of it. I
and then
just
you
did,
strip out the headers from it. So that's quite nice. Um,
and then the minus s is important in this when using curl for stuff because then you don't get the progress bar, etc.
yeah,
But you
silence.
it's on the
Silent
top.
is a very good thing.
It uses the RCE, the dollar star, which means give me every argument.
$$ right here, and then
It's all
it
arguments for the bash script, and then
takes the R, yeah, and it takes it, puts it right here. If you could share it in a general Discord channel, then that would be very good.
and now you can
See,
just do /salp.sh ls, and then you have your RCE wrapper. I was tired of.
oh, kind of fun. I did a boo boo.
I see a boo boo. Why is this?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, this is VI, right? Um,
Why is
there's a. Oh,
Why do
that's
you have two
interesting.
content types? Why do I have two content types? You
Oh, yeah,
can
that's
delete the top one. It's not interesting.
this one is an accept, and this content
Oh
type.
yeah, there's an acceptance and oh yeah.
The interesting thing is that here it sees it as a. I think it's,
This one escape failing.
yeah, probably a be somewhere. Let's see. User agent should probably be something like this.
Remove the space after the backslash. The space after the backslash on the JSON line. Yep.
There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, there we go. So we can take the command, and now we have a script to actually
It
go
was a
through.
bit easier to read, a bit easier to.
Let's see. We have home poll. We have access to that. This is the user that we're running as. I wonder if we're actually in his home directory as well. No, we're in the opt directory. But this is the user. So we have some basic. It's Snap, so it's probably a Ubuntu machine because
Yep.
nobody in their right mind would use Snap. And there's the user.txt. Let's see what's in the opt directory.
Just the
Up, up,
bit.
up. It says public. Oh, we could have just done ls, and that's this is nonsense what I'm doing. But this is that. Maybe we can take package.json, see if there's anything interesting in it. Generally, not a very useful file, but
Package the .n file is usually
yeah,
interesting.
there's none, right? Oh, that's not.
You need an LSAL.
Yeah, I did that. There's no end file.
No, there is no end file. But if you're looking for a node thing, the .env will contain all the tokens and passwords that you want.
Yeah, sadly, nothing there. What we do have, however, is this home poll location. We could already grab the user.txt. I think we can read it.
There's one thing where I promised Edifix to come back to later about React. So let's do that after we're done. And that beef just asks why not get a reverse.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Why reverse? I would ask.
Yeah.
I see in the SSH directory there's an SSH running. So I would rather get a stable SSH connection over a reverse.
Yeah, I would too. We wait for what Chris says. Less work then, instead of doing the entire script. Indeed, which is
True.
ironic, as Dead Beef is generally the one who creates these masterful scripts
Oh yeah.
that automate everything and just make it a one-click do it all. I personally, when I was able to actually send this to the machine and just query it, I saw this SSH directory and I
Uh,
hoped for some keys. Oh, that's not going to work. LS minus AL. There's nothing in there, but it does mean that it has
authorized keys.
SSH. Yeah,
Authorized keys was quite quickly filled in my case. That
yeah. So let's create a new key pair just for this machine. We be extra secure and use the blank password. Nobody else uses that, so we'll use the blank password.
it's secret. Nobody will ever brute force that one.
Nobody will know. Nobody will know. So we have this SSH keygen. Give it -F for a file, and it will actually create two files: a public key and the private key. And the private key is read-write only for us. Public key is readable for everybody. With the public key, we do this any machine that we can get SSH on is basically to just say, okay, we have a pub key. Let's
Everybody's
add.
now changing their password, by the way, after we called it on stream.
Yeah. Changing my passwords. Yes. Oh. Yeah. Oh man, that's quite interesting. I probably told this already sometime at one meetup or another. I sometimes do talks for companies or organizations on how to be a little bit more secure or be more sane. And what I do, I go to the breach parse. I use the utility. I have all the files, and then I search their employees from LinkedIn. I search them. Sounds kind of creepy, but yeah. And then I put their passwords on a slide, and then I put that slide as the waiting slide. And we'll get started soon. And in the background, it has all the passwords. Quite interesting if people go like they look at that screen like am I reading that right?
One of the things for bug bounties that's especially when you start using things like Montego with OSINT, just go to LinkedIn, grab all the employees, grab their GitHub, and see all the keys leaked there. That's just insanity. A lot of time.
Yeah. So in order to do this, let's type this first. Authorized keys.
Another option would be to use a wget or a curl or whatever or netcat to grab a local web server. None of it is installed.
Oh, I did not even try that. I figured I would just use the very basics.
No, I'm just looking at my notes. I also used Echo, but none of it was installed.
Oh, let's take a look at it in a little bit. So we have this SALP script, and the command that we want to run is basically this command that runs on the machine. So it will echo this on the machine and to the file. When you do this through burp, it's just a matter of encoding everything correctly, which we ask burp for us to do. So yeah, just use script. It's quite nice. If everything is well, I think
I quoted it. Single quotes.
probably have to. We did this. Right?
No, I use single quotes around the whole statement.
Yeah, that's wise. That's wise.
It removes all interpolation.
Why did I do that? This greater than it has meaning on my machine as well. So it would be not sent to the machine at the other end. So it has a boo-hoo.
I don't know. 64 was installed. Yeah, you could reverse it, that beef, but I find reverse shells are usually less stable. You need, besides, you're always messing about with TTIs, etc. Just to get a stable shell. And depending on the ref shell, well, it could be that it works.
Do we have NC?
No.
There's nothing on the machine. NC.
I didn't.
Uh-huh.
I don't.
Les, do you still work? Yeah. Which NC? Used to be an NC. It works.
Okay, we can just ref it. But
let's just give it a try.
We now have no authorized keys. Why would we?
And we don't have it in authorized keys yet because we have this really nice. Let's check if we don't have it in authorized keys.
You just ran it, or?
Yeah, there was a very nice error in case you.
I wasn't paying attention. I was reading chats.
It did not go through. Let's see. We can quickly try to fix it. If we run this, it says an unexpected token in
oh, it needs to be URL encoded.
Yeah, that's horrible. Let's quickly do the thing ESB says. Let's grab a shell. And the thing is, I did it in Burp, and Burp does the encoding for us immediately. So, but we can also try this user bin NC. I wonder which version it is. 10, 10, 14, 59, 1, 2, 3, 4 minus E bin bash. See if it works. It's the older version. Let's just do what I did. What I did was
the easy version.
Yeah, the Burp version. Let's grab the key here. It's a very nice thing about making your own scripts, but at some point, URL encode as you type. It is very handy to do handy things like this. And now let's do the URL encode here of it's now to convert URL encode key characters, Control U, and it will make the key characters beautiful. Let's echo this one. So
you will need to actually quote it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The echo, what your echo, because it contains spaces, will need to be quoted.
True story. And post that to home Paul .ssh and then authorized keys. Give that a try. Bam. Interesting.
Did you break it?
I don't know. I think it did. It's probably.
Could you remove the space Kali Kali? Percent the plus Kali Kali.
This one. Yeah. That's the equal sign. It's the equal sign.
I know.
I think. Earl decode.
The percent 3D is equals, but the space Kali Kali you want to remove, and it's a JSON, so it's not URL encoded. It's HTML encoded.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't remember doing that. So that is.
But it's not a URL. It's an HTML encoding.
Yeah, let's give it a try. Let's cancel the first one. No, that didn't work either.
I will I actually didn't encode it. I just did not include a user.
You just did not do this?
Literally.
Oh, okay. That works. That works. So the equal sign is, or the at sign is quite interesting. Beautiful. I learned something today.
Change modded first, 600.
Why
Authorized
would I?
keys, user only. Else authorized keys is not being read. It's not allowed to be public on the machine.
I did not have any trouble with that. Let's give that a try. Let's see what happens.
It's the same as
we fix
the private key. I think it's the same as with the private key.
Let's see. Why do we not complete my key?
SSH minus I RouterSpace.
There we go. There we go. RouterSpace. Paul. We'll see.
I'm curious.
Permission denied. Pub key. Nice. I think this is due to the at.
Could you do a change point for me?
Sure. Why not? Mod 600.
Yeah, 600.
Paul.ssh authorized keys. It's quite interesting. I don't remember doing that. No. Permission denied. Public key. Maybe the contents is wrong. Maybe it was not transmitted correctly. It looks correctly.
Does it
I wonder
at the end?
Let's see.
It doesn't look correct at all.
Oh, there's spaces. What you know? What happened?
Line breaks when you copy paste it.
There's line breaks. Yeah. Let's do this again. The horror of stuff like this, right? It is absolutely terrifying. Open. Let's do it the really newbie way.
Xclip it. Xclip cut Xclip. I mean, guaranteed working.
Okay. Wait. Where's the pub? Okay. I look with my nose. There it is. That's strange. Xclip.
It's not installed. Never mind.
Have to install Xclip. Yeah, no, I'll install it now.
This is for the lazy people who use command lines too much.
Yeah. Well, it's a good habit to get into. So you do cat RouterSpace pub, and you do it to Xclip.
Min select.
Minus S, right?
I always use the full one. I don't know if it's minus S. I always use the minus select.
Select like this. Minus select.
Minus select and then clipboard.
Oh, there it is. Clipboard. That sounds like a lot of typing. Minus select.
It's minus select.
There we go. And this should mean that if we do a paste clipboard, it should have the entire thing, right? Yeah, there we go. Nice. Let's give that another try. Remove the SSR. Let's do the paste here. Just do Control V.
Yep, it's a good alias, that beef. I fully agree.
What does that beef say? Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
I actually sometimes do use my other clipboard, but yeah, 99% of the time I use clipboard. But,
nice.
There are multiple buffers and clipboards in a standard X setup. Don't ask.
Yeah, and I think it did it. And here's the interesting thing: there's plus signs in this this list here. So if we HTML encode it, it will. Yeah, so we need
I
to
actually send it unencoded. I just send it like this. That's
cannot believe it. Yeah. Let's see. I cannot.
it's
I do
JSON.
not know. I do not know if my mind will accept it. Let's see.
It's JSON.
It's
It's
okay.
not a form. It's not form data, and it's not a URL, so it's JSON. So it's allowed because it's quoted.
Nice. I stand corrected. It is beautiful. It's
And
the
I stand
beauty of
corrected on
this.
the 600. That
Nice. We all stand corrected. Very cool. So we have user now. That is very nice. So we can do the cut of the user txt. Your hash will be different as it is different for every user. So yay, we can log in. Although it took us forever, but it looks very good, very good. So this machine, even though it is rated easy, it has a lot of steps and a lot of stuff to do. So still don't agree with that. So yay, we have user. Yeah, let's do our first check. What can we do as sudo? That does the work. Easy machines generally on Hack the Box, they have something very easy for the privilege escalation. This stuff, yeah, we can take a look here. The thing I like to do is run linpiece on it.
always one of the best ways to go.
Yeah, so let's quickly grab latest version of linpiece. There's actually linpiece.sh that you can use, or you can do linpiece and get the GitHub version. There we go. And there is this.
And there are a few people new to Hack the Box. The machines do not have internet access.
No
So
internet access, so it means we need to download to our own machine and a copy over to the remote machine.
yes.
So I downloaded linpiece. There's different ways to download. It's just downloading or following instructions. So we have linpiece, and as we have SCP, SCP, there we go, RouterSpace, there we go, linpiece, sh to Paul at routerspace.htb. Oh,
I
I always forget the code.
/dev shared memory. It's your pretty RAM disk.
Oh,
/SCHM. It's a RAM disk that doesn't persist if you want to leave less traces.
yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So in this case, we're not
Yes. That
after being very unobtrusive, I guess. So just running as the user and leaving traces, it's fine. The machine will despawn and it's good. But if you are in a professional setting, try to leave as little trace as possible. So linpiece, let's just run it. It is a beautiful thing. We're generally looking for these red, yellow thingies. They will generally be a surefire way to get root on the machine. Yeah, so let's take a look. What it does.
a few things.
Lots of information.
With me that I always do with linpiece, I tee it to an output file so I can grab it.
Oh, that's very nice. Very cool.
So it's a force of habit, and I just download it in case.
So you do a linpiece and then you t and then
linpiece not yeah.
Piece.out. I wonder if you are. Do you have problems with the colors?
Yes, but --r actually fixes that, depending on your terminal settings. If you look at it raw, yes, --r. I think by default, the less is configured on Kali properly. I will check. But else, it's a -r flag on less, and it will actually render the color coding.
Awesome.
Yeah, color codes are actually included. But yeah, it's a force of habit that I have, so I can always look better things.
Let's take a look. Okay, it's less minus R link piece dot out. See it anyways? Yes. Nice. Beautiful. So we have the P. We have the
And I
P.
can actually search. No, you actually have your search commands.
Let's take a look. There's quite interesting pseudo version 1831. People that are familiar with Hack the Box and searching it, we know that this version is vulnerable to several things. So that's quite interesting. I would have expected them to show up here, to be honest, but
Question is, which of the recent
there's a bunch.
CVEs are we going to get? Actually,
Yeah. So the Linux exploit suggester has a bunch. It has the PwnKit, sudo baron same edit,
Yep.
Same edit 2, and the net filter heap out of bounds. There's something with screen. If we take a look through the rest of the machine, I don't think there's actually. I'll quickly scan through it. There's no yellow, red stuff. Lots of red of interesting things, but not very popping. Hey, we need to look at this. So I ended up going the route of the suggested exploits.
First,
What did you do?
I ended up going in a rabbit hole.
Oh, nice. Which one did you do?
I actually went after there's a partial hash of the creator of the box in the log files. The box is made by a user called Harith, and there is a partial hash of his password in the log files.
Right. I did not even go there.
Rabbit holes, you gotta love them.
I love them. You love them. Now, what I did was actually going through this list here. There is a bunch of the formatting goes away. Yeah, there's a bunch. PwnKit, which is very interesting, but it was released after the machine was released. So yeah, I'll not go into that. It is a little bit sad. Sad's not very many older hacked box machines are vulnerable to PwnKit, and that means that you can generally try it on any old Linux machine and it will work. I actually went after these Baron.
He's not an LXD dead beef. But,
PC, Paul in LXD, pipe to curl in SH. Yeah, nice. We like it stealth. Yeah, nice, beautiful. Yeah, I went after the Baron same edit. It was released around the time of this box as well. If you look at the history, so I did.
I took that one as well.
Yeah. So if we look at Baron same edits or something like that, there's a bunch of Baron same edits. There's a whole bunch of exploits for it. Some are better than others. It is a finicky exploit. I found.
It's actually also the intended route. I'm just posting you a log file in the opt history, in one of the opt history logs that you can seek at. You see an intentional downgrade on the sudo.
I'm serious.
Yes, there's an intentional downgrade. It's the intended route.
Nice. Let's see if there's a. The encrypted. Yeah, and then there's this one. What you say? My. I think it is my Firefox. What do you think?
What?
Do you see this CPU bar right here?
Nah. Firefox? Nah.
Yeah, I think it's Firefox.
For those with a account on the box.
My VM is. Oh, I should give it some more resources. I think, right?
Nah.
Oh, come on, man.
What do you have open in the background?
Yeah, I would like to.
Teamwork sessions. You still have a Jenny motion open. That might kill stuff.
Yeah. I think this is actually Firefox, but I'm waiting for my access to come back.
Are you still having Wireshark running?
Yeah, it stopped. It's the most of the memory will be in the Jenny motion. Let's give that a couple of clicks. That's beautiful. Do.
I just posted the downgrade from the log on in the channel for those
I will
interested.
actually restart the VM. Oh, what a horrible thing. Die. It's so stuck that even the restart says it will have to wait. I love virtual machines. They are horrible. Shut down. Go away. There we go. There we go. We can share the screen again. I will actually tell you my actual password for the machine. You might want to change your own password if it is familiar to you.
Please don't say it's Kali Kali because then I really need to change my password.
It is actually Kali Kali.
Oh, crap.
It is very useful because I made it the same as the login name. So as long as I remember the login name, it is all good.
And it's on the screen, so you don't even need to remember that.
Yeah, I also sometimes I do. I make it the word incorrect, so then the machine will help us remember.
Yep.
Yeah, let's start a VM thingy again. Oh, now I need to. Do you remember the IP address? Oh wait, it's probably it's
Your host.
yeah, it's in my host. I'm sorry.
Wait.
No. I was so in my mind that I did not want to put it in my host to start with.
But yeah, that's, I mean, with this, Kali Kali sounds fine.
Ali Kali.
Few keys.
Awesome. No, don't open everything again. There we go. What we wanted was the Baron same edit. And this Wara Wit, I had some success with his exploit. So let's see if it works this time. Just to be sure.
I used the Cyber Commands one.
Oh, let's we'll give it a try. Later.
It's quite stable. I used on multiple machines. It doesn't brute force. It actually calculates it, the offset.
Nice.
It's a toss of a die with the brute force attacks.
So yeah, this one also doesn't do the brute force. This one does the NSS, I believe. It does a.
But it also recalculates the timings.
I think so. Let's give it a try. Minus I. There we go. the XSS. I remember it because it's in my history, so it should be good. So there's this Python script. This Baron same edit. Basically, I believe the exploit or the feature, it's vulnerability it exploited. There, complete sentences. Was that you could edit your sudo file, and with a proper timing attack, it would overflow, and you would have some memory corruption, and you can do stuff, something like that.
The sudo actually you have sudo edit and sudo. Sudo edit for editing the sudoers file as well, and it's the same binary with a different code path. And in the sudo edit, there's actually overflow. You can overflow with timing. There's a race conditioning, and that causes buffer overflow.
Let's see if it works. If this one doesn't work, we'll grab yours. I'm not gonna say I'm confident.
Yeah, that one works, but I don't know if he means yours or mine.
This one works. It recalculates, I guess, or it uses a different feature that does it, and it immediately gives us the root access. There, if you go onto the exploit DB, there's a same edit exploit that does a brute forcing. When you run it, it will basically fill your home directory with 5,000 files of directories. It's horrible. And then somebody figured out that they could do it in a more easy way. So
the one I used is this one. It's a CV implementation that you can actually also. Yep.
So you said in farlog apt history. So if we know that this works, we are root. We have the flag.
It's a farlog apt. And then you need to ccat history.log.2.gz.
So gz cat. Is that zcat?
I think it was zcat.
Yeah, zcat. Yeah.
History.log2.gz. Just less it.
There we go.
You will see a opt install. Oh, you see it here. It's you go down all the way down. There is
here it is. Downgrade.
Intentional downgrade.
Yeah. So, and it installs GCC in case you want to compile it.
Yep.
Which is interesting. Then it also removes a whole bunch of useful tools.
No, tmux, it's removed, so there's no risk of a daily tmux session as the user, which is quite easily taken over.
Interesting. They installed hexedit and then they uninstalled it.
There's also, if you go up a bit, was a purge. Zcat is a gzip cat. It's default in the GNU tools. You don't need to install it. It's default in GNU tools. So every machine has it.
Yes. Yeah. So intentional downgrade, and from that we could also conclude that this is the intended path. So yeah, very nice.
I also sent you a grep that was my rabbit hole. On the hardest.
Yeah, cyber commands, nice. Hackers with technical difficulties. Yeah, I always have it. Please open yours.
I sent you. If you run this one, it might be fun. If you're talking about rabbit holes.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. I do it here. Yeah. So there's these files, and there's this Subiquity server, I guess.
Yep. There's the debug log.
All right.
And if you then grab add Harit,
Yeah, yeah. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. I wonder
Ubiquity
why.
logs part of the hash.
Yeah,
The string 6 is a bcrypt. I don't know, something
I
like that.
believe so. Yeah.
I have no clue. I think it's bcrypt or something similar.
I wonder what subiquity is. Is that
I've
running?
some management app looking into it, but I didn't take any notes on it.
It's not running.
Ubiquity. What does Google say? It's canonical. It's a Ubuntu server installer.
Ah, okay. Maybe it is an actual. Okay.
The server
Uh,
installer and snappy first boot experience.
nice. Nice. Very
Ubiquity
cool.
servers. Okay. And
Very
it's
cool.
official canonical repo.
Yeah, nice.
But I was
Yeah.
looking if there was any leaked rest of the hash, but no fun.
Hmm. And is it actually a user as well, etc.?
Um,
Paul.
no, I think it's the if you look at Hack the Box site, it's actually the creator of the machine.
Yeah. So
He deleted
basically, probably in his lab, he has some automated install for images, stuff like that.
the God Demon. There's the question: what's the God Demon? I was that was a wasn't that
Is there a god?
PM2? Yeah. PM2 is a service management user space, user service management thing. If you go to the Paul home directory of Paul in .pm2, .pm2. This sometimes actually can get interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's node stuff. Node.
Yeah, it's look at the system daemon manager from for Node. I have on another machine, not on this one, managed to pull some stuff out, and I don't know what the rights are on the rpc.soc. Okay, I might at some point see if you can play around with sock files, because I've seen PM2 on multiple machines, and you can always write to sock files and read from sock files. So that would mean you can inject and intercept communication on the pub.soc and rpc.soc.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Yeah, the interesting thing is it's probably the thing that keeps the
it's a deep
Node application running, right?
Yeah, yeah. It does a restart. It monitors it, and I haven't looked at it fully, but it does log, and the dump.pm2 might also.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It probably has the.
I haven't looked at it completely, but I've seen it on more HTTP machines, so I might actually at some point start playing around with the sock file, see if you break it. It's the same as. It would at that point be the same as a hubot, which means auto RC.
Yeah. Yeah, the interesting thing is that it runs as the Paul user, so even if you could do something with it, it's probably just for the Paul user. But quite interesting to see what it does. Yeah. But for that, there's interesting things to figure out. But we can actually say that we've done this easy machine with a lot of knowledge about uh, beautiful Android stuff. So that's very cool, very cool. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat.
There was one. What is React Native?
React Native. Oh yeah.
Fix to answer that one. React is a web framework by Facebook for developing web applications front end. The native is I don't even know how it's done on Android. What it means is that it's a native wrapper around web app. It's basically a embedded browser. So the web application looks like a native application.
Yeah.
Desktop Electron is used for that a lot, which is a disaster. But if you want to talk about memory CPU hogs, but,
Yeah. Very
so
cool.
it's basically a website in wrapped as a native application.
Yeah. And then it allows you to write code once and then deploy it on different device formats, which is quite nice if it works. It generally allows JavaScript developers to make apps, and so you only need to hire JavaScript developers. Yeah.
Yes.
um, yeah. With that, we have the machine done. I think it is good to move back to Discord to do the discussion afterwards there. Um, I'll have you select a couple of people to give some stuff away to. Which,
I saw somebody who was completely saying he was completely new. So that is
Daniel is completely new.
Daniel is completely new.
Yes, he is completely new.
I don't know what Daniel it is. But I don't know what there is a giveaway apparently.
Yeah, we have some swag stuff giveaway. So
It's Cookie's choice. Where's Cookie?
yeah,
This is.
choosing good weather over meetup. I think.
That's okay.
Okay, that's one. You have two more. So
Okay. Then Guitar Discord is also quite recent, I think. That beef and King Jasper is a name I don't recognize. Is he new? Yeah, joined today. So King Jasper.
King Jasper. I think he already he left the chat. I think.
King Jasper. No, he's not. Guitar Discord and Daniel. These three.
Norat is waving at you.
Hey.
Hi,
Sorry.
Very cool. So we have three people. Congratulations. Send me your email and I will get your some swag cards to you. So very good, very good, very good. With that, we have done all that we did want to do for tonight. So let's sign off on the live stream and then we'll move back to the Discord.
Was fun. Thank you.
It was fun. It was good to have you. We learned a lot of new things. So I actually have to update some slides in my slide deck with handy new tools. So very cool. Thank you for that. And yeah, we'll sign off here. We'll see you in 1 month in our June session. So have a good time and talk to you on Discord. Bye bye, everybody.